Hi, this is Eric Robison again with Capitol Hill Life, and I'm here with Jarod Key today. And you're here with Key and Company Moving. So we're going to learn a little bit about your business because I'm sure a lot of people who tune in the website and Capitol Hill Life are going to want to move someday. So how are you,
Absolutely.
Jarod?
I'm doing well. So we started up in about 2 years ago in June, and then it's basically one of those things where I found a problem in our society with moving, and I've decided I can be the solution. Me myself was personally a mover for over the better part of 10 years, as long as my business partner Dalton. He's also a co-owner as well. And we decided, we worked at this moving company for quite some time, and we noticed that there's things that they do that aren't quite right in the moving industry. And that can be in terms of ethically or in terms of just simply how they treat customers. We had a lot of big problems with customers in the past when we worked at other moving companies that, they weren't being treated fairly. They weren't a right fit for the company. A lot of the time you could tell it was really just about money at the end of the day. It wasn't about people, and we're in the customer service industry, so it's absolutely imperative that we are centering ourselves around the customer and making sure that the customer is the right fit for us.
So what would you say you do a little bit differently than the other people that makes you stand out from what you've learned in your experiences in the moving industry?
Yeah, absolutely. So the one thing I can say that made us the most that has us stand out the most is definitely the personal touch that we have. So every time I have a customer call us, I immediately will put their name and number into the phone and always call them by their name and everything like that. I always make sure that I have sort of a personal touch with all of our customers, because that way getting to know them in a sense helps us being able to understand what their situation is like. And I've actually turned down customers because I told them, I was like, look, like our expenses are not cheap. We offer a quality service, so we want to make sure that it's something that you can afford and is within your budget. And a lot of the customers, sometimes they don't have a choice, and we're always willing to work with them and with their budget, and just kind of offer that sort of level of transparency with our clients, I should say.
Mm-hmm. I like that attitude of that you're going after with your company about the quality behind it and all. So, is describe to me all the services that your company does. Because I mean, when you hear moving, I mean,
Could be
there's
anything.
a lot of different things that could be behind that.
Absolutely, yeah. So, yeah, definitely. So, our biggest section of our company, our biggest piece of the pie, if you will, is definitely the residential side of it. So, anything from residential moving, so it can be your buddy's couch or it can be your buddy's 5 bedroom house. And then in the midst of that, we also have commercial moving, so we can move like offices and things like that as well. And then there's also specialty moving like pianos, safes, pool tables. I mean, you name it. We have the right equipment to handle most jobs. It's not very often at all that we say that we can't do a move because of some certain circumstance. The only thing I can think of is when we have customers that have things that are like built into the room. And even then, we also offer disassembly services as well. And then at the very end of things, we also offer junk removal too.
Oh,
So
junk
we're
removal.
we're full service, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, anything that requires us to pick something up and put it in a truck, we're there. So to make it easy.
Because I'm a realtor and I have clients. When you say junk removal, does that
Hmm.
include like okay, um, we just have a bunch of crap we left in the house and we just want to get rid of it, or
Absolutely.
what if like someone just said, "Hey, I'm just cleaning out my house and I got a bunch of junk here." Does that include that kind of junk removal too, or does that have to be associated with a move like this? What you left out?
No, absolutely. We can do just junk removal, and what we do is we charge the same as a regular standard move, because you're just charging for manpower, and
Right.
so it's the same principle. And the only difference is that we have them when we get to the junk facility to drop off the items, and then we just charge them back the cost of the dump fee at cost. So if it was $150, we just charge them $150. We don't try to make money off of the actual dump fee, because what we see as more valuable is the time that we are there, helping out the customer and cleaning out their home of whatever it needs to be. Yeah. And if that means taking it to the dump or taking it to their new place, it's all same to us.
Oh, okay. I mean, that's really
Hmm.
great. I like how you explained how you really don't make a lot of money off junk removal, but you do it, to help them out.
I
That's
would
really
say we make the same. We still make the same on junk removal in terms of
okay.
our hourly rate. Absolutely,
Oh,
yeah. We don't like have like any additional charges when it comes to that. We try to keep, like I said, we try to keep it pretty transparent with our pricing. A lot of moving companies, they like have different sections for different materials. I mean, if you look at the UTC bill of lading, which is the United Transportation Commission, and they're actually, I didn't realize this when we first started our company, but it's a very heavily regulated industry, and they want to make sure that there's a lot of parameters that we need to follow in order to keep in compliance, as well as making sure that our customers are taken care of as well. So
so
that, yeah.
do you, so now, do you want people to have things pre-packed, or do you guys go in and you'll pack everything up and then move it?
Either or. Typically, I'd say like 90 to 85% of our moves are definitely what I like to call grab and go, which means everything is packed and ready to go. We just go in there, guns a blazing, grab everything, put it in a truck, and take it to the new place. And but yeah, we absolutely offer packing services as well. And similar thing with the junk removal is we would bring in our boxes of material, and really you're just paying a service fee of us packing the boxes, but that's pretty much it. And you get to keep the box if you want to. But if you don't want to keep the box, we'll take it for you as well. So
Oh,
we
wow.
always try to tailor it to the customer.
So you help with
Absolutely.
the unpacking.
Absolutely, yeah. If we need to, and I'll be honest, 90%, like I said, 90% of the time, the unpacking is really not. They usually just need help with the packing, but there is certain situations. Like I'm actually dealing with a customer right now, and unfortunately, he had a herniated disc, and so he's very limited on range of motion and everything, which I totally get. So we're definitely taking that extra step to make sure that things are done to where he can, when we're gone, he's able to walk around and be able to unpack all the things himself, and making sure the furniture is where he wants it and things like that too. So
Oh, that's really great that you guys are being that careful with them. And I definitely feel for him with the herniated disc. That would be
oh yeah, I couldn't imagine. That could be awful. So
yeah. So, do you strictly try to be more local focused with your moving? I mean, how far would do you plan moves out for people?
so we have an interstate license, meaning we go anywhere within Washington. Typically, because of our region, a lot of our work does come from this area, especially Capitol Hill is pretty much the most prevalent area that we have. However, I mean, we travel anywhere. We have spots in Lacey that we do work. We have storage units down in Olympia, and then also some in Everett as well that we do work for as well. So yeah, anywhere in Washington is where you can find us.
So when you just I want to pick up on you just mentioned storage units. So does that mean like someone could say, "Hey, I need to pack up and get out of here because my home's sold, but I'm not going to be in a new home for let's say another week." Do you store the things for them and then you move it over in a week, or what do you?
So we don't actually have the storage units, but we have contracts with other storage units in terms of using our services to help out their customers as well. Yeah, and that's something that will change in the future. I do plan on like getting our warehouse or something set up soon, because right now we just have my home office, and so
Mhm.
it's kind of like the fact that I have my home address on Google. It's kind of like when people search us, I feel like they see it and they're like, oh, this is just some guy's apartment. So it's definitely like, we usually when you search a moving company, you expect to see like maybe a warehouse or it located in some type of industrial area. But I do think logistically speaking, we definitely are in a good area, to kind of a central area, I should say,
Mhm.
in order to get a good amount of reach with customers.
Well, I've always wanted to support local businesses, and I think you guys sound really great. I like everything you've said so far. Um, I have one more big question about moving. A lot of these questions are based on me for the day I moved this. Because one, I don't want to move anything anymore. I gave up moving for helping friends move years ago. My rule has always been I'll never ask you to move me. Please don't ask me to move you. I want to save my back. Um, but do you help when moving like with furniture, especially like beds, like taking frames down and then you get to the house and do the basics of like, hey, can you help set up the bed frame and get the bed at least there so we can have a place to sleep tonight? We'll unpack boxes later. Those kind of things. Or
Absolutely.
like a big console couch or something.
Right. Yeah. And I also like to specify with customers because everyone, especially with bigger moves, it's always nice seeing certain items coming off the truck first. Like we always make this joke. I don't know if it's congruent with other moving companies, but we always like to say we'd like to pack the coffee maker last because then it's the first thing to come off the truck for the customer. And then that goes for the bed as well. And typically it's because we always stack our trucks. We have professional stackers that make sure that the trucks are, kind of in a tier sort of form is what we like to call it. You can call it Tetris too. We like to play Tetris with people's furniture. And that's just how it's uniform in the truck. But we use the mattress to block off everything at the end and then throw a strap around it. And we have some pictures on the website as well of that process. Of that process being done, yeah. And so a lot of the time, yeah, the bed is the most imperative thing that we have for customers to make sure that at the end of the day, as long as their bed is set up and their coffee maker's plugged in, it's a good day for them. So, and like I said, we don't typically deal with unpacking, but we're absolutely here for them if we need to, because we charge hourly. And so really at the end of the day, whatever they need us to do within our parameters is absolutely acceptable.
I want to thank you, Jarod, so much for tuning in today and letting us learn more about your business. And I hope more people tune in and call you, because I think you guys deserve the business, and you're definitely in my phone book too. So
I appreciate that, Eric.
My clients, okay?
There we go.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. And this is just another episode of Capitol Hill Life.
Wanna